Hello everyone, my name is Richie Rice and I am the executive chef here at Dickinson College. I want to welcome you all to a classic Thanksgiving dinner. As you can see, our table has an elegant setup and our food is surrounding. We'll go through the dishes that we're serving here with our Thanksgiving dinner. For starters, of course, we have our roast turkey dinner. We also have scalloped baked corn. We have traditional sage stuffing. We have sweet potato casserole with marshmallow topping, pumpkin pie for dessert, and of course, pan gravy for everyone that likes gravy on turkey, mashed potatoes, stuffing. Now that we've seen our finished entrees, let's go into the kitchen and meet a couple of our chefs. Hi, here we are in the kitchen. I'd like to introduce you to two of our chefs here at Dickinson College. On my far left here, we have Ashley Tellup, who is our head catering chef. She'll be preparing our entree and our side dishes today. Right next to me here, I have Kay Ureski, who is our head baker, and she will be preparing our pumpkin pie and going through the steps of that. I hope the things that we show you today can give you a hand and some helpful tips towards making a festive Thanksgiving dinner for you and your friends or family. Thank you. Take your properly thawed or fresh turkey from the refrigerator and place on your cutting board. A frozen turkey should be thawed in the refrigerator for a couple of days. This is your safest route. Dry off the turkey inside and out, patting it to be sure to absorb much of the surface wetness. Next, fill the cavity of the turkey with fresh herbs for an aromatic flavor and smell. The herbs being used by Chef Ashley here are sage, rosemary, and thyme. Rub a thin coating of oil all over your turkey. I prefer a light oil like canola oil or corn oil. The oil will allow the skin extra fat to ensure a crispy skin on your cooked bird. Salt and pepper is applied all over to also bring out the flavor. Put the turkey onto your roasting pan with a gapped rack to allow for juices and fat to drip freely from the turkey. And your turkey goes into a preheated 350-degree oven. Next, we will work on the bread filling, or the stuffing, or the dressing, depending on what you're used to referring to this as. Different areas of the country seem to like one or the other names. Small diced celery is a must for the stuffing. Cut the cleaned celery into strips and cross-cut to make a small dice. Next, Chef Ashley will demonstrate the proper, safe way to dice an onion. Notice the root of the onion is intact, and a combination of horizontal and vertical cuts complete the job. Whole butter is placed into a hot skillet to melt and heat through. Add the diced celery and onion to the skillet, tossing to coat everything with the butter and cook evenly. Cook through until translucent. Add some fresh chopped herbs to the celery and onions. Parsley, sage, rosemary, then of course some salt and pepper. Remove from heat and let stand until ready. Next, we need to chop up some bread for our stuffing. Today we are using some leftover ciabatta bread. Day-old or lightly air-dried bread works best for stuffing. Ciabatta is a more coarse, rustic type bread and perfect for this application. Eggs are a necessary ingredient for stuffing. Crack your eggs and whip them gently to combine the yolks and the whites. Some pre-made turkey stock is added to the eggs for some more wetness into the stuffing. Into the chopped bread, as well as salt and pepper, and the most important ingredient in stuffing that gives it that grandma-made flavor, poultry seasoning, a pre-blended seasoning sold retail. Mix thoroughly to combine flavors uniformly. Then add celery and onion mixture and gently toss to combine. Add the stuffing mixture to a casserole dish which has been lightly sprayed with pan release. Place into a preheated 350-degree oven until the inner temperature reaches 165 degrees. Sweet potato casserole. Peel your sweet potatoes a day in advance if you like, and place into a vessel with cold water until you need them. The sweet potatoes will need to be cut into even-sized pieces suitable for this dish. Place the cut potatoes into boiling water and cook until al dente, or somewhat tender but still slightly firm in the center. Place the drained potatoes into a casserole pan which has been lightly sprayed with pan release. Set this aside while preparing the sauce. The following ingredients are combined in a saucepan to make the sweet potato glaze: softened butter, brown sugar, ginger ale, vanilla, and cinnamon. Heat these ingredients and reduce. Thicken with a slurry made from cornstarch and water. Once your sauce has thickened properly, pour it over the sweet potatoes and mix well. Once mixed, add some fresh butter cubes to the dish and finish cooking the sweet potato mixture in a 350-degree oven. The final step is the miniature marshmallows that are placed over top of the sweet potatoes in the glaze. Then back into the oven to cook until 145 degrees. Now the turkey is ready to be basted. Here we are basting it with a pre-made turkey broth. Next, check the temperature of the turkey and return it to the oven. Corn pudding. To make our corn pudding, our chef combines the following ingredients into a mixing bowl: heavy cream, also known as whipping cream, eggs, vanilla, salt, and sugar. A slurry made with milk and cornstarch is also added to allow for thickening of the dish. Finally, whole kernel corn and creamed corn are incorporated. Both of these items are canned, but could come from fresh or frozen as well. Once again, this mixture goes into a casserole dish which has been sprayed with pan release, then into a 350-degree preheated oven. As you can see here, our sweet potato casserole is complete with a nice caramelized top on the marshmallows. Yummy. Here is the completed crispy topped bread filling. And our corn pudding has set up and is also ready. Make sure you are checking each dish as they are complete to ensure their proper cooking temperatures are reached. Now comes Kay with her wonderful pumpkin pie. Starting with the pie filling, we take cracked eggs and beat them well, then add sugar and a bit of salt. People use different blends of spices for their pumpkin pie, anywhere from nutmeg to ginger to cardamom to allspice. Here today we will be using cinnamon. Once this is all mixed well, we add the solid packed pumpkin from a canned product. You can use fresh pumpkin, but it must be cooked and prepared properly before using. Once mixed, add condensed milk and whole milk to give it the right texture when baked. For the pie dough, begin by measuring out your pastry flour. It is important to use a dry measure cup and place the flour into the cup rather than scooping it, which packs the flour and yields an incorrect amount. Scrape the cup off at the top for an even measurement. Add the rest of your dough ingredients, salt, then butter and shortening. Both the butter and shortening should be cold to ensure a flaky crust. Cut the fat into the flour to distribute evenly, as Kay demonstrates here with a cutting tool. The result should be pea-sized lumps throughout the flour. Finally, ice water. Mix the dough well, but do not overmix, as a tough crust will result. Take your dough and make a ball shape out of it. Then roll out your dough on a floured surface with a rolling pin. When rolling the dough, it is important that the thickness is even throughout. This will make sure you have a crust that bakes evenly and is of the perfect texture. Next, you kind of reverse roll the dough onto your rolling pin. Then you unroll it right into your pie pan. Crimp the edges of the crust with your thumb and forefingers to create the classic edge, then remove extra crust. Placing dried beans on parchment within the pie shell will hold the dough down during pre-cooking and prevent air bubbles from forming. Once the shell is par cooked, pour the batter into the shell, then dust with more cinnamon. Bake as per your recipe, and you have a delightful and fragrant pumpkin pie. Just a note that pumpkin pie will almost look undone and kind of wet when it comes out of the oven. It is time to take the turkey out of the oven. When it has reached 165 degrees, it will be done. Remove the turkey from the roasting pan and let it rest. Place the roasting pan on the stove and get it good and hot. Deglaze with stock or white wine. Deglazing lifts the drippings and flavors off of the pan and suspends them in the liquid. This concentrated flavor will be the body of our gravy. Put this liquid into a saucepan and add more stock if necessary. Once simmering, the flavorful broth should be thickened with a slurry made of flour and water. Mix well to avoid lumpy gravy and be sure to simmer for a while to cook out the starchy flavor from the flour. Now, into a gravy boat, and time for dinner. Thank you all for letting us bring this video to you. It was a pleasure for us to create, and I hope some of the methods and tips provided here will enhance your holiday celebration. Happy Thanksgiving to everyone and all of your loved ones. Let's all remember what we are thankful for during this season.